Okay. Hello everyone, Skippy here, and this is going to be a very short episode. Let me do something real quick. Uh, basically, if you remember our last episode, we ended with getting an error in our drawing, and what was happening was something was didn't like it. The fact that we are using a int an array of ints allocated on the heap. Something isn't initializing in there properly, and I have no idea what it is. If someone knows what the problem is and can tell me the fix to it, that'd be grand. But for now, we're going to switch up what we're using. I really wanted to use this code right here because it would have made loading from a map very simple. Instead, now we have to we're gonna use a vector. So the code we're gonna switch is pretty simple. Basically, we're just gonna change this to std vector int. Okay, and then something in there doesn't like it, but don't know what. Yeah, we haven't implemented vector in here. Don't know why. I worked on my other one. Let me just check why. That's weird. See, it works here, but I suppose it doesn't matter. Okay. So we're gonna also change this to std vector int width times height and 1. Okay. Now what this basically does is we're making tiles a new vector, and that's going to actually be allocated within our actual object here. So it's going to make our object a little larger than what we would like, but it makes it easy because we're not kind of dealing with another pointer. And we're actually going to comment that out. We don't need that. And you can erase this for loop right here. And what we do is we allocate a vector, make a vector, allocated to 400 according to what our width and height is when we make the map, and then it initializes all the values to -1, and that does everything we need to do in one fell swoop. And that should work with all the rest of our code. We're gonna now build. We're gonna see if everything goes through, and we're gonna test here when it finishes. And I got a comment on one of my videos saying to make the font size a bit larger, so I'll have all that for this side of things, all the font size a bit larger. To the person who asked me that, just if this is large enough, I hope it is. And we're going to test it now. Gotta go rummaging around a bit. And there, not there. Gonna be in here. And everything works. We don't get an error. And on my machine, we're actually getting about 1,000 frames per second. There is one second thing we need to do real quick. And that is what we do here actually isn't enough. I forgot. We're all this is doing is actually just drawing our hypothetical tiles to 1 point. So we're going to have a function called PreDraw, which basically preps our tiles. And we can't really do it in here because we have this constant, and we can't manipulate our any data within here. So we're gonna do it and as the function, we're going to call that before we ever draw. So go to your map, and within the public domain, make a function called PreDraw, and then void map PreDraw. And basically, we're implementing this. Instead of target.draw, we basically going into our tile lists and our S list here. And we are setting position to x times 64 and y times 64. And 64 is just the number we're using for the size of our tiles. What you'd really do is you'd have that set somewhere, maybe in your define, and then you'd use that that constant for whatever it is you're setting it to, for what size. But since this is just an example we're doing right here with this entire program, just go ahead and use 64 for now. This will be different when we actually do our actual application for our RPG. And then the final thing we have to do is go to our state CPP, and we have to call that PreDraw before we draw our map. So ed map, actually dot map. Oh no, it's not dot map. Dot PreDraw. And that should be it. And then we can build it again. Right. And everything works just fine. Alright. So that was the fix that I promised I'd find for you, and I tore my hair out finding it. Again, if anyone knows why using a dynamic array on the heap isn't working, because I know what something's happening to where all the values are they're initialized, but they're being overwritten, and I have no idea why that's happening. So I don't think maps moving around memory. So I can't figure it out. If anyone else can, I'd really like to use that. But if not, then it's no big deal. We'll just use vector. We'll see what we can do with that. Alright. So the next episode should be up soon. Now that I've got that taken out of the way, I will probably just bundle in map saving and loading with controls all in one episode. So it might be a bit long, but I want to go ahead and get this done so we can start going to the design phase of things, and we'll really hammer that. And file saving and loading is just like 2 functions anyways, so shouldn't be too much to do with that. So thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll get the new episode out soon. See you then.